Disney just had their biggest news event of the entire year, and everyone's saying it was kind of a bust. But was it really? This is the news from Destination D23 and why Disney adults are so wrong about it. So stick around. I'm gonna show you why the thing that everyone is complaining about might actually be the best thing that could have happened. It's gonna need some energy for this one. Matches the shirt. Don't worry, I hear you. You're asking, Quincy, what is D23? I'll tell you. D23 is Disney's official fan club. It's run by Disney. It's for the fans. They do a bunch of cool stuff. The main thing that comes out of D23 are events. There are lots of small events during the year, but there are two big ones that you need to know about. The big one, D23 Expo. This is basically Disney Comic-Con. Over 100,000 people attend. People come in really great Disney cosplays, like this. I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson from Jungle Cruise. There is a massive con floor and they do their news announcements in a sold out arena at the Honda Center. And famous celebrities come. Miley Cyrus was there last year, which was really cool. That happens every other year. On its off year, instead you'll find Destination D23. This takes place in Orlando instead at Disney World and is a smaller fan event with an attendance of about 4,000 people. They do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, some historical looks, exclusive shopping opportunities, but just like D23 Expo, this is also where you find the biggest news announcements of the year. Personally, I like a smaller event, because it means fewer people to potentially see me crying about an updated paint scheme coming to the theme parks. Not that that happened, but I can defend myself, okay? I'll explain in a minute. Destination D23 just wrapped up in Orlando, and we did get some pretty interesting news. Everyone was asking for an update on Villains Land, which is the expansion coming to Magic Kingdom. Everyone's pumped about it. It was revealed last year, and people won't stop talking about it. We were all hoping for a little something in that department, and we got something. For sure. The only update they could give us on Villains Land was a little bit of a development brainstorming update where they shared that the architecture style they are using for Villains Land is called Conjured Architecture and is basically a more mystical Art Nouveau. This was cool, but I think a lot of folks were wanting some more. You know, a little something. We also found out that Carousel of Progress will be getting a change, adding a scene with Walt Disney introducing the show. And there will be updates in the show as well to help see what John and the family have been up to. Just a little side note, word on the block is, the rumors on the street are that Walt will be replacing the intro and outro little area that just has the Carousel of Progress medallion right now, and that you will see him at both the beginning and end of the ride. That's just word on the street. Don't quote me on that. And if anybody tells you I told you, I'll know, okay? Just keep it between us. I told you not to judge me. The biggest news for me personally is that Cinderella Castle is getting repainted back to a more original color scheme. So it will be a new updated version, but it's going back to the creams and grays, the light blues, and the gold instead of being its current pink with royal blue spires, which I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I hate the current castle color scheme. I don't want to be a hater, so I don't talk about it a lot, but I do not like the way it looks. I grew up with a gray and blue castle, and I want that thing back, and they're bringing it back. And did I tear up? Maybe a little. It's nostalgia, you know? I'm nostalgic for it. I'm excited they're bringing it back. That, in my head, is what Cinderella Castle is supposed to look like. And I do associate the Pink Castle with COVID a bit because that is when they updated it. So it's just gonna be a nice little refresh, I think. Tron Light Cycle Run is getting an overlay for Tron Aries, where the lighting scheme will go red for Tron Aries, and you'll hear Nine Inch Nails music on the ride, which I think people are more excited for this than they're letting on because we love rock music on a ride. Rock and Roller Coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think Nine Inch Nails is gonna really be, it's gonna kick on Tron. And you all are familiar with popcorn buckets and sippers. They announced a few new ones, so that'll be good. We also got some movie news, like an all-new original Disney film called Hexed, which, stay tuned to the channel. I have a very exciting video coming out that may or may not be with someone who worked on this film. We also got a release date for Hoppers and some more details about Zootopia 2. And there was more little stuff, but that was kind of it. And I know I just said a few exciting things, but keep in mind, this is the biggest Disney news event of the year. People are expecting big new information, exciting stuff. And the most exciting thing being a castle repaint and Carousel of Progress getting a little bit of an update doesn't really live up to past years. Funnily enough, Disney actually held a media event to release a good bit of news like the week before Destination D23. Instead of holding to have a parks panel where all these little updates could happen, they did some big announcements in this media event and some announcements at Destination D23, which has baffled a lot of people. But news that came out of the prior week included Big Thunder Mountain Railroad concept art showing the updates to the attraction in Magic Kingdom, the November 7th opening date of the Zootopia show coming to Animal Kingdom, the fact that Rock 'n' Roller Coaster will reopen as Rock 'n' Roller Coaster starring the Muppets in 2026, a look at the new vehicles coming to Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in Disney World, that the new Mandalorian and Grogu version of Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run will debut May 22nd, 2026, and that Star Wars Launch Bay in Hollywood Studios is getting transformed into the Walt Disney Studios experience. So weirdly, even though Destination D23 didn't have as many updates, there were a lot the week prior. Still nothing as big as an expansion to the park or a new land theme, but a lot of little stuff. Not only was there no parks panel, I'm coming for blood. Many of the major park executives who are expected at these events didn't even go. Josh D'Amaro, who's the current head of parks experiences and products for Disney, didn't even come to the event this year, where he typically runs the park panel and gives us lots of fun, exciting news. So no parks panel, they split the news up over 2 events, the execs didn't even go, and there were a lot fewer updates. That all makes this event feel a little bit limp, but that doesn't make it a bust. So let me explain where everyone's wrong. In addition to all those updates in 2023, you may also remember a now infamous portion of the panel called Blue Sky, where Josh D'Amaro and Walt Disney Imagineering head Bruce Vaughn came out and said a bunch of things that could happen one day. Hi, my name is Quincy, and I did believe in a Coco Land 2 years ago. This was basically Disney's fan fiction panel. It was like, what could happen in an alternate universe for Magic Kingdom? They said, we're expanding Magic Kingdom and maybe we'll do these things. And at the event, there were cheers. Everyone was excited about the idea. But when people really started to think about it, they didn't love the blue sky thing so much because it was a lot of stuff for people to get excited about, like me with a Coco Land, and then find out that it was never going to happen, or at least not anytime soon. And so people started to feel like the blue sky panel was talking about a whole lot of nothing. That, of course, was further exacerbated by the fact that at the time, Disney had a bit of a reputation for not doing anything new or exciting. There had only been a handful of new ride additions to the parks in the 5 years prior, and that was all getting compared to Epic Universe, which was sprouting out of the ground at a rapid speed with tons of new and exciting stuff over at Universal Orlando. So they tried to help this with Blue Sky and saying, hey, we're gonna work on some stuff. But that really just made people feel frustrated that it was not a, we are working on some stuff, and more of a, we're going to. Which might give you a little indication as to why there wasn't as much pizzazz on a parks panel this year. Disney didn't have a ton to say. There weren't a ton of new announcements, so why hype it up as if there were going to be? Blue Sky was hyped up as if it was going to be this incredible, exciting thing, and then it became a thing that felt like empty promises to a lot of Disney fans. Disney's learned from their mistakes, and they're not going to do that again. And in 2024 at D23 Expo, we got a shocking number of actual, real announcements. And even at that event, Josh D'Amaro kept saying, this stuff is legit. We are breaking ground on it. It is happening, because he knew the reaction to Blue Sky was not as positive the year prior. D23 Expo came with a deluge of news. The biggest being that Magic Kingdom expansion was going to be a Villains Land. Cars were coming to Frontierland. We got details on Animal Kingdom's Tropical Americas. We learned about a Monsters Inc. land. We learned about Pandora coming to Disneyland. We learned about a Coco ride. We learned about an expansion of Avengers Campus in Disneyland. We learned about a ton of international updates. They announced 11,000 cruise ships. And that really helped the brand lift, where fans are feeling frustrated that nothing was happening. It suddenly felt like everything was happening and that we had been heard. They announced about a decade of stuff, a decade of projects. So 1 year later, there aren't really any new projects to announce because they did all the announcing, which is why no parks panel, no Blue Sky. Instead of more empty promises, we got honesty about things that are happening. And it wasn't a ton of information, but the updates we got are real. And I was starting to feel like that was rare with Disney, maybe even rarer than getting a reservation at Cinderella's Royal Table. I don't know. That's pretty rare. All that stuff they announced last year is about to shape the next decade of the Disney parks experience. And that is what Imagineers and teams at Disney are hard at work creating. It's entirely likely that we're not going to get any major updates for the next several years from Disney. And instead, it will just be little updates about the things we already know about that they are working on. And the reason that is a good thing and not a bust is because that's exactly what we want from D23. It's a win for fans when Disney is honest about the progress being made and not just making stuff up to make us feel excited excited about things that may never happen. So though it felt like there wasn't a ton of news at this event, that doesn't mean that it didn't feel like stuff is happening. All those big things that were announced at Expo are in progress, and that is what they're working on. They're not looking ahead to something that they might promise and might never occur, which they are wont to do. There are so many things that never happened that they said we're going to. And of course, we want bigger updates about that stuff, particularly Villains Land. I would have loved to hear a bit more about the attractions that are coming instead of conjured architecture. But I don't want to hear about an attraction that may come, get super excited about it, and then find out it's not going to happen. So I'd rather hear that conjured architecture is going to happen than not be able to believe what Disney's saying at all. So was it a bust? No. Was it Disney adult fan fiction live on stage? Also no. And thank Mickey for that. That said, I can definitely see how you might feel like this event was a little bit of a letdown, so let me know in the comments, are you team bust or team finally some honesty? If you need me, I'll be over here crying about the fact that Cinderella Castle is turning back gray into a popcorn bucket. It's a great vessel to catch tears. And if you're still here, please like this video and drop this secret code in the comments so I know you made it all the way. Plus, don't forget to subscribe, helps us out a ton. We have a goal of hitting 500,000 subscribers, and we upload content from Disney and beyond all week, because we're serious about fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.